60-year-old British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell is facing the rest of her life behind bars after being found guilty of recruiting underage girls to be sexually abused by Jeffrey Epstein. Ms Maxwell, who was described as dangerous and Epstein's partner in crime by the prosecution during her 3-week trial, was convicted on 5 of the 6 counts she was charged with.
Ghislaine Maxwell was the socialite whose manners and magnetism attracted princes and presidents. But it was those same qualities she used to ensnare girls from troubled backgrounds, teenagers whom she served up for abuse by Jeffrey Epstein. Her siblings were in court as the verdict was read out. They know she'll almost certainly spend the rest of her life in prison. So too do her lawyers.
Laura, I wonder if you can reflect on why you think that this jury believed the prosecution's case that Ghislaine Maxwell was a sexual predator.
It was the verdict her accusers say is long overdue. Among them, Sarah Ransom, who was in court for some of the trial.
What was it that Ghislaine did to manipulate girls in order to serve them up to Jeffrey Epstein? What was her role in the crime?
So Ghislaine was the main enforcer. She was, even before I met Ghislaine, Jeffrey said, you answer to Ghislaine. She is the lady of the house. She is, you just don't cross her. She forced me into Jeffrey's room to be raped. And then when I walked out, limped, whatever you do when you've just been brutally raped, I looked at her, and that's why it was really important for me to be there and look at her, because when I looked at her, after she forced me into that room to be raped, she smiled. And that's why I had to be there, because, you know what? I smiled right back at her when I saw her.
4 survivors took the stand in this case. They were girls when they were abused. They're now grown women who stepped out of the shadows and into this court to tell their story. And ultimately, it was that testimony which brought down Ghislaine Maxwell.
But after the verdict, her family and friends remained defiant.
We firmly believe in Ghislaine's innocence. Obviously, we are very disappointed with the verdict. We have already started working on the appeal, and we are confident that she will be vindicated.
Your Excellencies, Presidents, Lords, ladies and gentlemen.
Maxwell once used her platform to address the UN. She travelled the world in a way only the super wealthy ever will. But her privilege in the end was no protection for the crimes she committed. Martha Kellner, Sky News, New York.